All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Gee. I kind of.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah.
Looking like a tennis ball. Nigga haircut tennisism. Haircut falling off the bone. Boy, you looking like a milk dud. Nigga thought he was Michael Jordan. Boy, you looking like Blank Man. Boy, you looking like Lil Bill. Boy.
All gravity, any evening above ground, live it.
I'm back.
Sorry about 4 hours ago, but I took a nap and I was feeling so beautiful. I just kept rolling over. I really needed it because this whole holiday season at work was trying times, dealing with purveyors being short on product, the amount of covers we had to do, dealing with staff. It was a lot. So this is like my first opportunity to get a proper nap. But I got energy now. And of course, I go to sleep. I wake up and the internet is divided again. And you would think that that's okay. That happens every day, but now what they did, what they're crying about, what they're upset over, ICE went and did it. ICE decides they're going to headshot in Minnesota, Minneapolis specifically. ICE decided that they were going to take out the Blue Eyes White.
This, my Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now, Blue Eyes, attack his Exodia Necros.
ICE took out the Blue Eyes White. Now, she's not blue-eyed, but, you know, same rules apply. Then I go look the other way. The New York State's attorney dropped the cocaine charges against Maduro. So now they're trying to get him for machine guns. The 2A is being attacked through a foreign dictator. Trump puts out a True Social post about the woman that got killed in Minnesota. We got MAGA over here praising the government, even though about 18 months ago, a different government said nearly the same things, and they were giving that government crap for it. We got idiots who don't understand that the Venezuelan oil is not producible for American interests. And they still haven't figured out that Trump is part of a global network of corporations who are running this globe, not the countries. They still haven't figured this out. So we're going to cover all that. And I understand it's late, so we'll be quick about it. So get out your notebooks. It's time to teach. But before we do all that, let's see who's in the building. Don P, hello. William Morant, hello. DSA, hello. Boilermaker, hello. Miss Nisi, hello. Lehman Lucas, hello. Remy LeBeau, hello. Cosma, hello. Emperor Rex, hello. And for those who haven't said anything in the live chat or comments, hello. All right, so now what we're going to do is do the customary house cleaning, and we're going to get into it.
Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now go to...
Let me go here. There's a growing concern.
All right. So what you see on this screen is Hotep Jesus. And I saw this post when I woke up, and this is what alerted me to the Minnesota shooting. Because he said top 5 takes you'll see on your timeline reference to ICE shooting Renee Good in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Get low. I said, what the hell is this? So I said, let me look. Oh, boy. Let me look.
Get to work! So ICE has actually shot a white woman, a protester, allegedly, by the name of Renee Good. The internets are going crazy. And this one to give you the potential hot takes you may see on your timeline. The far right take is this woman was a seditious traitor and a protester because ICE is trying to do their job and she's getting in the way. So that's the far right take. You got the center take, which is this was a tragic event. Somebody died. We should mourn their death. Let's pray to God and all that good stuff, you know? Then you go.
Well, I don't think the center would say something like that. They wouldn't bring up God. They talk about healing, though. Go ahead.
Got the left take. The left take is we told you so. ICE is dangerous. Blah, 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 blah. Get ICE off of our streets.
They already had a protest in Minneapolis. We'll show it to you.
Don't want them there, right? Then you got the conspiracy take. The conspiracy take is, oh my God, this was a blood sacrifice. She was sacrificed to divide the country, lead us into midterms with something to talk about, create another George Floyd event, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then there's the Koofy juice take. And that comes down to the numerology of it all, with January 6th being a memorable day yesterday, and today being the 7th, another memorable day in history, and the whole 6-7 trendy thing going on the internet. So 6 and 7, yeah, it's kind of crazy. So those are the takes you may see in your timeline. Some of you might be trying to find a take, and you probably use one of these. If you want my take, tune in tomorrow night. Hote has been told you 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll give you my take on what this.
All right, so there's that. I was like, all right, whatever. Fine, I'll do it. I don't want to do it, but we're going to do it. We're going to show the video.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
All right. So this is one of the angles. They claim there's so many angles. So I said, okay, let me look at this angle. And we're going to see what happened with this woman.
This crazy woman decides to hit an ICE agent with her vehicle and loses her life as a result of it. There is no question at this point whether or not this woman came in contact with this officer, resulting in him discharging his firearm. This crazy.
So from that angle, it looked like he hit her. She hit him. Sorry. All right, let's go see other angles. Let's look. All right, what's this? Okay, they hop out the whip. They hop out the whip.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck?
All right, well, that's crazy. Anyway, yeah, there's that. They say he the shooter. That's why he's in the thumbnail. I'm guessing that's one of their calls. Shout out to Minnesota, though. Shout out to Minnesota. This person has a whole fake shark in their yard. Shout out to them. This may sound callous, I understand, but you know what? This is ice on white crime. It ain't got nothing to do with this. This ain't got nothing to do with us. We as black folks have our own problems. This is ice on white crime.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
We should always be vigilant and watch them because we know what's going to happen. The crime bill is coming. They're going to try to mess with us. It's okay. But this is ice on white crime today. A day after their holiday, ice on white crime. So maybe I understand why Hotep Jesus said this was a bee sacrifice. I understand why he said that, but that's okay. 13 people left because I said this is ice on white crime, but that's all right. That Remy LeBeau said iced milk. Woo. That's crazy. He said, or she said, because we don't discriminate here. Ice milk. Did they put the salt in it? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Shout out to the internet, because the internet is where you go. We're going to call the internet, especially X, we're forever going to call it the intellectual junkyard. That's where things go to die. Oh, Lord. Here we go. Candyman, I literally just played a video from the news. I don't care if she hit him or not. I don't care. This is a y'all problem. That's why I showed it. Those are the type of takes right there, family. That's why they want cops on their streets, because they think they're going to mess with everybody else except them. They're going to mess with you too. Now we had 23 people leave because I said ice on white crime. But we go back to this. Ice milk. That's crazy.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Renee Good. They say you were a light. Well, somebody extinguished it. Great. That's fine. But I thought your president was in favor of people using their cars against protesters. I thought DeSantis said that was cool in Florida, even made a law for it. Huh. So are you saying DeSantis is wrong? I made it a color issue because this has nothing to do with us. That's why I made it a color issue. I get it, though. You're in a room full of black people, and then you're going to be a white liberal and say you're making it a color issue. Well, on behalf of the melanated immigrant side of the black collective, we're going to do something for you. We're going to let you go to bed early. Y'all know what to do because they upset. You so safe. You come to a black area at damn near 11 o'clock at night to act like a white liberal. So we're going to do something special for you.
Smoke wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
What a dickhead. It's always those dickheads. Why would you come to a black channel, right? / melanated immigrant channel where I said ice on white crime and get upset that it made it a color issue because I said black people, that's got nothing to do with us. You should have left. But it's not a color issue when you go to other channels and they start talking about black people. It's not a color issue then. It's accountability. Shut up. By y'all logic, she got accountability got to her. Okay, great. Y'all love your government. Why don't you just hug your favorite agitator / police officer while they try to take away your guns? Because you fools don't follow the Constitution. It's okay. I'll get rid of him. It's okay. I have no problem with that. I got the power of Grayskull. Just like y'all got it. I can do it. It's okay. They said we can help you out. We're gonna do this for you. Just calm down. We're gonna help you out a little bit. We're gonna reset you. We're gonna reset you. Okay, you're reset. It's always them. I have tried, and I'm going to be more diligent this year. I'm not going to argue with people. I'm 40 now. I'm not going to argue with folk. We're just going to share knowledge. But let's get back to this. So they took her out. So here's Trump's statement. I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving a car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Ran him over. Ran him over? Did we see somebody get run over? Because we looked at 2. All right, he got run over. I mean, that's crazy. He got run over and still was able to shoot, but yeah, okay. Whew. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive, but he's now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They're just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. Okay, dude. Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to keep a pin in that because I want to show y'all something later that contradicts everything he just said. But okay. Let's see what MAGA got on this. Because, you know, we know what the left is going to say. This is wrong. And, you know, everybody need to be prosecuted. So they said we need to go right like we did for George Floyd. See how they try to keep bringing us into it, which is why I said this is ice on white crime. See, this is why I don't start to engage folk like that. I already had that loaded up. But okay. Y'all let white liberals make it seem like you hate black folks. You need to talk to your cousins. We continue. There we go. There's Charlie Kirk, but he not around to see this, so we keep moving. The real criminals in the ICE shooting in Minnesota today are the mainstream media and liberal NGOs who brainwashed this woman to thinking she could do whatever she wanted without consequence. They got her killed, and now they will use her as a prop. Sickening. You mean like Ashley Babbitt? But that's okay. Maybe Hotep Jesus was right with the bee sacrifice. Y'all were lauding Ashley Babbitt yesterday, and now y'all are laughing at this woman, Renee Good, being taken out. So I guess. So I'm gonna troll since it's late. Since he's MAGA, so I'm just gonna write like Ashley Babbitt. By the way, there's no black man you could blame for this. Oops.
Y'all trying to get me go to hell.
Can't blame. There ain't no black man that shot her. Now, trust me. Now, if that cop was a black person, they would MAGA would have a hell of a decision to make. Do you back the blue, or do you say that cop did too much? Y'all already got enough black cops that kiss Trump's ass. I mean, let's just say. Let's see. When you use your vehicle as a weapon, but DeSantis said that's cool, and he's Republican. I'm just saying. I'm going to look something up. Anyway, how y'all doing today? I always forget to ask that. Well, what is this? Yes, former President Donald Trump has made comments that suggest he supports the idea of using vehicles against protesters, particularly in the context of feeling threatened. However, it's important to note that such actions can still lead to legal consequences. Huh. Did he really say that? Let's look. Let me look. Former President Donald Trump has made comments that suggest he supports aggressive actions against protesters. During a speech in 2017, he encouraged police to be less gentle with suspects, applying a more forceful approach to law enforcement. This rhetoric has been interpreted as a broad endorsement of aggressive tactics in dealing with perceived threats, including protests. Let's just make sure. No, they're saying he said it. Okay, he said it. All right. So she should be a hero of the right. Okay. So this person said, I added another video in slow motion to my post, addendum 4. This confirms beyond a shadow of a doubt the ICE agent who fired the weapon was not in jeopardy. Here's the angle. Okay. We saw that video already. We don't care. Minnesota shooter identified. Oh no, that was somebody else. Leftist ICE protester and parent tactical expert says the shooting may unnecessary. Oh, they had him on there. Crisis actor. Crisis
It's not
actor.
appear aggressive to me. I think that if they felt like they were in any danger, they could have stepped 2 feet backwards. I think, in my opinion, that this was an unnecessary use of force in a reaction to imagined danger.
I think you need to go inside. You look cold. By the way, that's diabolical. He has one side of his hat pulled down, but the other one, no. That's diabolical. Where am I at? I am within the sphere of influence that has granted me the permission to be able to speak to a vast audience. That's where I'm at. He looks like a goon from one of them Asian films. He looked like he wanted the henchmen. But that's okay. They say he tried to leave?
Don't let the murderer leave! Don't let the murderer leave! You guys are the fucking criminals! You don't get to tell us what to do! Fucking criminals!
They have whistles.
Don't let him leave! Don't let him leave!
You got like how many people out there? Why don't y'all just form a chain? Is it not like y'all move, you form chain, make sure they don't leave? All right.
Pussy motherfuckers, man.
Oh, that's really gonna stop him. Pussy MFer. That's really gonna stop him.
No! Get the fuck out of our neighborhood!
He literally just did.
Jesus Christ. Is this a joke? Huh? Are you joking right now?
They are really not their ancestors. They can't even be racist correctly. They can't even stop police correctly. I at least give it to their ancestors. At least they would cut some cops. These motherfuckers, they just yelling. Nasty work. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, Tim Walz. What are you talking about?
I don't know what to tell you, and I don't quite know how to respond to the.
I know what to tell you. You look like Bernie Sanders.
Smack! Who is this nigga?
Bernie Sanders Walz. Let's get it.
The question, other than my primary responsibility as governor, is the protection of the people of Minnesota, and you can be assured, whether it's the State Patrol or whether it's the National Guard, their deployment is there to protect Minnesotans from whatever it is. If it's an act of nature, if it's a global pandemic, or in this case, if it is a rogue federal agent. I don't know at this time. And
are you a rogue federal agent? Are you calling him Ethan Hawke? I'm sorry, not Ethan Hawke. You're calling him Ethan Hunt, a rogue federal agent? All right. I mean, sure.
I want to be very careful. I don't know what to tell you, and I don't quite know how to respond to the question, other than my primary responsibility as governor is the protection of the people of Minnesota, and you can be assured whether it's
Why do you
state
feel necessity to
patrol
insult
or
me
whether
again?
it's
Is that
the National Guard. Their deployment is there
this a big
to
defensive
protect
thing that you've got?
resources from whatever
Why don't you
it
read
is.
your own
If it's an
script?
act of nature, if it's a global pandemic, or in this case, if it is a rogue federal agent. I don't know at this time, and I want to be very careful.
Okay, we don't care. Again, this is ice on white crime. That's wild. What else we got? Not much, huh? Let's go to leaders. Temple was out there talking about some. Oh, don't run over no cops. I'm like, dude, seriously? That's the best you got? Where is it? Where is it? Where's that post? So you pinned it. Okay. Hunter Avalon. He's still around? Okay. CNN is doing everything they can to make this woman into a George Floyd 2.0. George Floyd. George Floyd. Oh, if she chose to comply, you say. Oh, okay. Comply. Comply. But y'all get happy when Trump don't comply. Oh. Okay. Let's see. They look like, let me see what CNN talking about. I'm curious. I want to see how they spend it. Spun it. Spended it. We black over here.
Hospital at this time. Let's go to Laura Coates out front in Minneapolis.
That's Laverne Cox.
Ha ha! Joke's on you. Laura, what are you seeing there?
How the hell was she loaded up already? I know it's only like 2 hours from New York, but damn, they say, yeah, go jump on that flight real fast. Jesus.
There's a huge crowd of people gathered within blocks of where this woman lost her life at the hands of an ICE agent. And I can tell you, I went through the crowd today, and there is anger, there is frustration, there is extreme sadness. I spoke to a group of 3 sisters whose father had been deported during the first Trump administration in 2018, and they expressed that they wanted to be here because they could not believe that they believed somebody was killed just trying to present their voices. They didn't want anyone to go through the devastation of having to navigate what it's like to have ICE, they say, terrorize a community in the way that they had experienced. Others in the community who were nearby expressed their frustration and shock at this being just a few blocks away from where George Floyd killed. They also expressed they had felt this way even before this tragedy happened today. They were afraid that ICE would, one person telling me, in actuality, do more than what is required under the law just to satisfy the president of the United States. And there has been mixed reaction in terms of the reaction of the administration stateside in Minnesota, but also Secretary Noem and President Trump's own social media posting. But the real frustration, the murmur you're hearing everyone talk about, is recanting exactly what happened. And there is a consistent drumbeat and a through line here, Aaron, and that is they do not believe that they were entitled to shoot this woman. They do not believe that there was any imminent threat of bodily harm. And as you well know, there's a kind of a phrase, kill or be killed, that can govern the activity of law enforcement. If they are in imminent bodily harm, of imminent lethal harm to themselves or others, they can take action. Many of them are recanting how they could simply have sidestepped the vehicle and still have been safe. It is eerie tonight to see how this has all transpired in a year. There's always been so much tragedy here in Minnesota, from the shootings of a political lawmaker to, of course, Annunciation School recently, and everything in between. And of course, George Floyd looms large here, knowing that this is the very jurisdiction in Minneapolis where it was law enforcement who spoke up against the excessive use of force and got the conviction of one Derek Chauvin.
Why don't you read your own script?
All right, Laura Coates, thank you very much. On the ground there in Minneapolis, as crowds are gathering.
I'm sorry, I zoned out like 17 seconds after she started talking. I don't know what the hell she talking about. I know it's cold. Maybe she was just trying to talk really fast. Whew. All right. Let's see what Fox News is talking about, because you know how they are.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
And of course, they put up Clanity. Let's see what Clanity talking about.
Now, just to be clear, there are multiple videos from different angles showing, watch this, the car will back up, then it will accelerate with an agent right in front of that SUV. And the wheel of the large SUV, obviously they're refusing to comply.
But he moved. Trump said he got run over. So, is this a different video? Huh.
With federal officials, runs into the agent, accelerates towards from different angles, showing, watch this, the car will back up, then it will accelerate with an agent right in front of that SUV. And the wheel of the large SUV, obviously they're refusing to comply with federal.
Trump said he got run over. Okay.
Officials, runs into the agent, accelerates towards the ICE agent a few feet away, and the DHS, they are now calling it tonight an act of domestic terrorism. But Governor Timmy Walz, he looked at the video, the same one we're showing you, and got in front of a microphone, heavily suggesting that this was an evil act by a rogue ICE agent, while also, of course, blaming Donald Trump. Take a look.
Here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. And you can be assured, whether it's the State Patrol or whether it's the National Guard, their deployment is there to protect Minnesotans from whatever it is. If it's an act of nature,
it's nice to see Alex Bornstein over here, since Mad TV closed down and, Family Guy's still running strong, but she needs stuff during the week. It's nice to see her over here doing sign language. Shout out to her.
It's a global pandemic, or in this case, if it is a rogue federal agent. I don't know at this time.
This is the height of reckless irresponsibility, and not to be undone, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, a.k.a. Small Fry, as he's referred to affectionately in his home state and his home city, was even more unhinged, demanding that ICE get the F out of his...
But they paying for them to call him Small Fry.
City. Take a look.
There's little I can say again.
Damn, she playing both sides against the middle. Go ahead, Alex. Get it.
That'll make this situation better.
That
but I do have a message
woke.
For our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE.
What you got?
To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
Woo!
We do not.
He tough. Hey, ICE on white crime. Well, he technically resigned. He said he's not running for a third term. So, he's probably going to go back to Congress. So it's all good. But go ahead.
Want you here?
Now, maybe he's not familiar with the supremacy clause in the U.S. Constitution, where federal laws, they are enforced by federal agents. That is their job. Or maybe Jacob Frey and Tim Walz are just putting on a show for their radical base, whipping people into a frenzy for political gain. Now,
don't you just love it when they bring up the Constitution when it benefits them, but when people bring up the Constitution to benefit themselves, they get pissed? Saying you're doing too much? Wow. Okay. So y'all love the Constitution that did not. All right, fine. I'll just say, Sean Hannity, your people are immigrants. That Constitution wasn't for you. Just saying.
Anyone is doubting that simple fact, just ask yourself the following. Well, where were the emotional press conferences when Americans were raped and murdered by illegal immigrants in their sanctuary state? Did they shed a tear? Did they go on TV? Did they tell the illegals that are violent, get out of our city?
No, they didn't go on TV. They went on TV to justify locking us down, and you in the news media was saying, yes, that's a good thing. Oh, we remember the videos, Clanity, when you were over there praising Trump for locking us down. Talking about we have to be safe. Now we find out that the Belle Biv DeVoe was just as bad as all people that y'all were calling, like me, a conspiracy theorist. How bad it really is. And y'all don't want to talk about that no more. Oh, we know. We know. We remember.
Get the F out of our city? No, they didn't spend 1 second even thinking about these murders. Remember during the president's joint session speech before Congress, Democratic members of Congress, they could not even get out of their seats and stand for the families of Laken Riley, Jocelyn Nungary, 2 young women murdered by Biden, Harris, Mayorkas, unvetted illegal immigrants, part of the 10, 12, 14 million illegals they allowed into the country but denied was even happening. But of course, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has plenty to say about today's shooting. Now, it fit her political narrative, so she's more than willing to stand up and voice her feigned moral outrage.
What did you think Trump did on True Social? What do you think JD did when he put out his statement? Yeah. It's apropos again.
Why do you feel the necessity to
You're
insult
acting
people?
again.
Is that
Where's the script? Where's the script? Read the
Is
script.
this a big defensive thing that you've
Read
got?
the script.
Why don't you read your own script?
It's a beautiful script.
Why didn't she ever stand for Laken Riley's family? Why didn't she stand for Jocelyn Nungary's family? Did they ever call any of the victims, murdered, raped, other victims of violent crime all over her city that she loves so much, New York City? Ever call any of the families of victims? I don't think so. Not that I know of. Take a look.
What we saw today was a criminal murder a woman and shoot her in the head while she was trying to escape and flee for her life. And I think what we saw today was a manifestation of every American source down there. Their government turning into a
I wonder if AOC is going to say something on the 20-year anniversary of Sean Bell getting killed. I wonder if she's going to say something. We have a whole year. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. Let's see if she says something.
Well, Democrats and AOC, they are busy playing politics and demonizing the agents for the millionth time. Well, she fails to mention that if you get hit or, God forbid, run over by a 2-ton SUV, the chances are you will not survive. In that case,
But nobody got run over. Nobody got hit. Okay.
that would be a weapon. That would be self-defense. In fact, every single year,
Trump did say
law
that
enforcement
it's
officials
okay.
are killed by people using their vehicle as the deadly weapon. According to DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, there have been over 100 vehicle ramming incidents against federal officials in recent weeks, and that's not all. Take a look.
All I have to say is that the federal agents are protesters.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Can we just say that they're government sponsored and government paid protesters? They're protesting against the rights of the people. I think we should start saying that, no?
Today alone in this country, there have been 4 different domestic terrorist attacks on federal officers by the ramming of vehicles. 3 of them happened here in Minneapolis. We've seen over 100 of these vehicle rammings happen in just recent weeks, and this must stop. ICE alone is facing a 1,300% increase in assaults against them and an 8,000% increase in death threats against all of them. In fact, the very same officer.
Nah, GDS. So you know why I'm letting ICE live? Because ICE is just an amalgamation of the tyranny that the U.S. is doing. It's government agents going outside messing with folk, and you have a segment of the population great with this. You also have that same segment of the population great with this that was pissed off about it 2 years ago when they were deporting people who were MAGA supporters. I'm letting ICE live. They will be the footnote in history when America falls. They will be a major component. Does Hannity get this mad when Americans are deleted by other Americans? Only if they're black. And I love the fact that ICE is doing this because now they're going to have to sit there and defend it. Look, 22 people left because I said that I want to let ICE live because this is their problem. This is a microcosm of America. 23 people left. I love it.
Officer who was attacked today had previously been dragged by an anti-ICE rioter who had rammed him with a car and drug him back in June. He sustained injuries at that time as well.
June. Okay. June. All right, that was fun. We talked about Minnesota. Let's get to this Maduro. Hey.
File your taxes 100%
Hello.
free in the app.
I don't care. Yeah. America. Again, you took this man out of his country. Okay. You play videos of people that are Venezuelan saying they're great about this, yet all them videos were from South Miami. Now, all of a sudden, you telling us that, yeah, he was a cartel. You get him in this country now, he not part of no cartel? That's what we're doing. All right, say less. You don't believe me. I figured you didn't. Well, maybe you'll believe the news.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
I want y'all to look at this. Tabernacle. U.S. revises Maduro indictment, drops Cartel de los Soles claim. The updated indictment scraps the idea of Cartel de los Soles as a formal criminal group, calling it instead a patronage system and culture of corruption tied to cocaine profits for top officials. Maduro faces charges in New York federal court for conspiring to ship tons of cocaine to the U.S., where he has pleaded not guilty. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because why the hell didn't you just do this at the beginning? I'm just trying to figure this out. Why didn't you just say this in the beginning? You don't care what the UN says? Okay, I hope you say that when they call you. What's this? Ooh, what is this? We're going to play this in a minute. But back to this. Again, why didn't you just say that it was a patronage system and a culture of corruption? Because that wouldn't have given you the legal basis to do what you did. But okay. President Trump praised the January 3rd operation as a blow against narco-terrorism. Secretary of State Marco Rubio dismissed UN doubts in a recirculated clip, insisting Maduro is an indicted drug trafficker while unveiling a three-phase U.S. plan for Venezuelan stabilization, recovery, and transition amid accusations of resource grab, which is called Project 2025. When we talked about it in 2024, they had specific plans in there about Venezuela. If you don't believe me, you can go back and look. But let's look at that Max Blumenthal post he put up. Here's the 1993 60 Minutes report on how the CIA recruited a Venezuelan military officer, General Ramon Guillen de Villa, to help ship 22 tons of cocaine into American cities. The cartels of the Sun disappeared once it lost its utility to the CIA and was resurrected by the U.S. government when it began targeting Venezuela. I wonder. Let's look. Well, we already know Maduro is a puppet for America. We already know this. But let's look.
Get to work!
60 Minutes was goated in the 90s, by the way.
A ton of cocaine, pure cocaine worth hundreds of millions, is smuggled into the United States.
He loves saying
Sound
cocaine.
familiar?
Look at Maury Schaefer. He loves saying cocaine. Go ahead. He looked like he did a line back in the day.
Not the way this ton of cocaine got here. According to what the former head of the Drug Enforcement Administration told Mike Wallace, this drug shipment got here courtesy of what he calls drug trafficking by the CIA in partnership with the Venezuelan National Guard. While rumors of CIA involvement in drug trafficking have circulated for years, No one in the U.S. government has ever before publicly charged the CIA with this kind of wrongdoing. And it's not the kind of accusation anyone in government would make without thinking long and hard.
We understand what you're saying. A ton of cocaine was smuggled into the United States of America.
That's Tucker Carlson. Somebody said Trinidad is next. Well, they've canceled flights. You can't even fly to Trinidad right now. So there's that. Shout out to my wife for telling me that.
By the Venezuelan National Guard?
Well, they
in cooperation with the CIA?
That's exactly what appears to have happened.
Until last month, Judge Robert Bonner was the head of the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA. And Judge Bonner explained to us that only the head of the DEA is authorized to approve the transportation of any illegal narcotics like cocaine into this country, even if the CIA is bringing it in.
Let me put it this way, Mike. If this has not been approved by DEA or an appropriate law enforcement authority in the United States, then it's illegal. It's called drug trafficking. It's called drug smuggling.
So what you're saying, in effect, is the CIA broke the law. Simple as that.
I don't think there's any other way you can rationalize around it, assuming, as I think we can, that there was some knowledge on the part of CIA, at least some participation in approving or condoning this to be done.
Judge Bonner says he came to that conclusion after a 2-year secret investigation conducted by the DEA's Office of Professional Responsibility in cooperation with the CIA's own Inspector General. And what reason did the CIA have for promoting this drug smuggling?
Well, the only rationale that's ever been offered is that this would lead to some valuable drug intelligence about the Colombian cartels.
Over half of the Colombian drug cartel's cocaine crosses the border with Venezuela on its way to the United States and Europe. Back in the 1980s, the CIA was mandated by then-President Reagan to develop intelligence on the Colombian drug cartels. And so the CIA, with Venezuela's Guardia Nacional, or National Guard, set up an undercover operation, a drug smuggling operation in Venezuela that could handle the transshipment of the Colombian cartel's cocaine on its way to market. The plan was to infiltrate the cartel, and it worked. For the CIA National Guard undercover operation quickly accumulated this cocaine, over 1.5 tons, that was smuggled from Colombia into Venezuela inside these trucks, and then was stored here at the CIA-financed Counter-Narcotics Intelligence Center in Caracas.
Caracas? Colombia to Caracas. Interesting.
Tell you one thing.
What's that?
Motherfucker who's got the connect, he the one that did Joe.
Oh, no doubt.
Y'all know the co-op took some hits. Joe, Hungry Man, good people, especially Joe. Their passing was for real cold-blooded. I know what you're thinking, so I'm gonna put it out there. I'm responsible. A week or so back, made a move on Omar with Joe's approval. Faggot ain't have hard enough to come at me, so he come at those close to me. Now, I'm doubling the bounty. 100 large for a whiff of that dick suck. 250 for his head.
What about the connect?
I got that covered. And in light of that fact, I'm gonna take it upon myself to conduct this meeting. Slim, I want you to take over Hungry Man's slice of the cake.
Meaning no disrespect, but I ain't cut out to be no CEO.
Cheese then. No problem, man. Got you covered. Until we settle up with Omar, I think it's best we suspend these meets. In fact, I ain't really one for meets no how. Anybody got a problem from here on out, bring it to me or sit on that shit. Those of you on the west side who need to re-up, holla at my man Monk. You gonna handle supply over there. On the east side, cheese. One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Price of the brick. Facts. All right. Price of the brick. That's what Reagan was telling them. And then Bush took it over. And then Clinton took it over. Price of the brick went up.
Get to work!
The center's commander and the CIA's man in Venezuela was National Guard General Ramon Guillen Davila.
I tried to work together with them. I was always aware that they were not telling me everything they were doing.
Annabelle Grimm was a DEA agent with 18 years experience when she was made agent in charge in Caracas. And she says that the CIA station chief, James Campbell, and this man, Mark McFarland, the CIA officer in charge at the center, told her that to keep the undercover smuggling operation credible, they had to keep the cartel happy. And the way to do that was simple. Deliver their dope, untouched by U.S. law enforcement, to the cartel's distributors, their dope dealers in the United States.
The CIA and the Guardia Nacional wanted to let cocaine go on into the traffic without doing anything. They wanted to let it come up to the United States, no surveillance, no nothing.
In other words, you weren't going to stop them in Miami or Houston or wherever. These drugs were simply going to go to the United States and then go into the traffic and eventually reach the streets.
That's what they wanted to do, yes. And we had very, very lengthy discussions where I told them what the U.S. law was and the fact that we could not do this.
So here you got Jim Campbell, chief of station, who knows about this. Mark McFarland, CIA officer, knows about this, and are stimulating this business of sending what are uncontrolled deliveries of drugs, smuggling drugs into the United States, right?
Right.
Why in the world would they want to do that?
As they explained to me, that this would enable them to gain the traffickers' confidence, keep their informant cool, and it would result in future seizures of larger quantities of drugs. And also they hoped to, I guess, they thought they were going to get Pablo Escobar at the scene of the crime or something, which I found personally ludicrous.
But if Annabelle Grimm thought this was ludicrous, the CIA station chief, James Campbell, did not. He enlisted the assistance of CIA headquarters in Washington to get approval for the drug shipments. And his bosses at the CIA in Washington went over Annabelle Grimm's head directly to her bosses at DEA headquarters in Washington.
They made this proposal, and we said, no way, we will not permit this. It should not go forward. And then, apparently, it went forward anyway.
The joint DEA-CIA investigation we mentioned earlier confirmed that over a ton of cocaine made its way from the counter-narcotics center in Caracas to the streets of the United States. And they discovered that at one point, General Guillen's National Guard tried to ship 1,500 kilos at once.
They were not successful in that because apparently the package they had put together was too large. It wouldn't fit on the plane.
General Guillen admits to the bungled operation.
It was too big for the airplane door because the plane was a 707.
The box was too big to get into the airplane? $30 million worth of cargo, drugs, all these officials, the Venezuelans, the Americans, the Colombians, all so stupid that they don't have a box that's small enough to fit inside their own airplane.
The traffickers made a mistake with the plane.
Is it possible that General Guillen was doing this on his own without the knowledge of the CIA?
I would find it very difficult for several reasons to believe that they did not know what was going on. They built, they ran, they controlled that center. General Guillen.
Well, y'all gotta understand, a key is what, 2 pounds, something like that. Yeah, it's 2 pounds. So figure you're talking about 30,000 pounds. 15,000 of those little packs. You're basically putting 30,000 pounds on a plane. So maximum weight for a plane is about 129,000 to 203,000. Now that's for regular planes. You ain't gonna bring in no cargo plane into America and nobody not gonna notice. They were probably trying to put in one of them little small ass planes and it didn't work. But you just gotta love that they just dropping all the documents on these people back in the 90s, and people still don't understand that this has been something that America's been doing for years. And you should be calling out both sides. But, you know. Go ahead, drop all the tea.
His officers didn't go to the bathroom without telling Mark McFarland or the CIA what they were going to do.
The drug smuggling operation finally unraveled nearly a year after Annabelle Grimm says she told the CIA and General Guillen that it was illegal to send drugs uncontrolled into the U.S. Then, a shipment arrived at Miami's International Airport.
There you go.
And was seized, coincidentally, by U.S. Customs. Customs traced those drugs back to the Venezuelan National Guard. But General Guillen told us that operation had been approved by U.S. authorities.
Look, what I see here is that there is a problem between the CIA and the DEA, and perhaps they are trying to find a fall guy who is General Guillen. If I had anything to do with illegal drug trafficking, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
General Guillen is right about one thing. He could travel to New York to talk to us about Judge Bonner's charges only because he had already been granted immunity from prosecution in that DEA.
You know who he looked like? He looked like Rebenga from Scarface. I ain't gonna hold you. You see how he was walking? Emilio
But one thing, he
Rebenga.
could travel to New York to talk to us about Judge Bonner's charges only because he had already been granted immunity from prosecution.
Look at Rebenga.
In that DEA, CIA Inspector General's investigation.
Can we say libertad? That's insane. So he was in on this, and he got, just because he had immunity, he could walk free. Ain't that a bitch? Revenga. Yeah. Coño, I know that name, man. He's political. You tell your friends over you tell your people in Miami, your friend, it'll be a pleasure. A communist for fun. But for a green card, I gonna carve him up real nice. Jesus Christ. That Nene, that's diabolical. You see that, right? Dirty Gabe.
Investigation. So we confronted the general with this document, a report from that investigation.
Damn.
Reads like his confession.
Guillen lost his composure, and when directly confronted concerning his involvement in the unauthorized and illegal shipment of cocaine to the U.S., confesses.
Look, I say that that confession is not true. In that report, there are a lot of lies. It's useless. I have not confessed anywhere.
So you're clean.
Clean until the last day God has for me.
So far, there has been no legal action against General Guillen. As for the CIA officers, well, Judge Bonner may believe that someone at the agency must have known, but the CIA and the U.S. Department of Justice say they have discovered, quote, no evidence of criminal wrongdoing. However, the CIA did acknowledge to us that the investigation, quote, did reveal instances of poor judgment and management, leading to disciplinary actions for several CIA officers. Mark McFarland, the CIA officer in charge of the Counter-Narcotics Center, resigned from the agency last year. We tried to talk to him, but he told us the CIA would take legal action against him if he violated his secrecy agreement with the agency. As for James Campbell, the CIA station chief, we learned he was brought back to the U.S. and promoted, but then he retired. Campbell did tell us, quote, I've devoted my life to my country and feel like a victim in this thing. This happened without our knowledge. We were there to prevent it. While CIA headquarters declined to answer our questions on camera, off camera, a CIA official involved in the Venezuelan cocaine operation did.
We talked to some people at CIA. They say the DEA does the same thing all the time. They let drugs walk. They let drugs into the traffic, look the other way, to further a more important goal.
It's absolutely untrue. And frankly, maybe it displays the kind of ignorance that makes the CIA dangerous in this area. It is wrong for an agency of the U.S. government to facilitate and participate in allowing drugs to reach the streets. And apparently, you know, if the CIA doesn't understand that, then I would be concerned that this kind of incident could be repeated.
The CIA advised us they had recently briefed the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Senator Dennis DeConcini, and they urged us to talk with him, apparently believing he would defend the operation.
It was an operation that I don't think they should have been involved in.
No question, the drugs got in.
I don't doubt that the drugs got in here.
You'd think that maybe the agency would want to say, okay, we made a mistake.
I think they made a mistake. And you hope when these mistakes are made that, not too many more of them are, particularly when the mistake is a large quantity of substance like this that can kill people, and probably did.
We asked the senator why no one in the CIA has been prosecuted for bringing in the drugs.
You would seem to think there would be a good case there.
Case against?
Against an American who knew anything about it. But, I've been a prosecutor, Mike, and you have to look at the case, convince a jury or a judge not to throw the case out. The Justice Department reviewed that, and they decided not to prosecute these individuals from the agency.
And what about the vaunted intelligence gathered from the whole CIA anti-drug caper in Venezuela?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, I don't know of any because from what I know, no valuable intelligence of any kind was produced from this operation.
What intelligence was generated by the shipment of this 1,000 to 1,500 kilos? Controlled or uncontrolled?
It was very positive.
Really? Who did you finger? What did you find out?
Pause. Whoa, Mike Wallace. Hey.
Pause.
Pause.
He paused. I said pause, nigga. Mind you, LeBron is spending $2.5 million on his body. Pause.
I would give it to Barkley. Pause. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy, but I'll let you go. Pause. It's a luxury to have a big man. Pause. They gave him the soft one. The hard one, pause. Pause, nigga.
Controlled or uncontrolled?
It was very positive.
Really? Who did you finger? What did you find out?
Right now, a truck driver and the truck that were trafficking drugs into Venezuela are under arrest. There was another truck, and 2 similar van types were also caught.
So what you're saying is that you captured 3 or 4 or 5 truck drivers. I'm asking about intelligence in the United States that was generated by the actual shipment of these kilos into the United States.
Now, whether or not here in the United States they arrested anyone or the intelligence gathered was useless, that is the responsibility of the Americans.
After speaking to us, General Guillen traveled to Miami where federal agents found him and served him with a subpoena to appear before a newly revived grand jury investigation into the CIA's cocaine. But the word out of Venezuela is that the government there will not permit him to testify.
I look at that 1,000 kilos, at least that 1,000 kilos. I look at the fact, I mean, Mike, you're a taxpayer.
No, you were looking at that 1,000 kilos and you were licking your chops to get a taste. Fuck out of here.
And that was U.S. taxpayer money that built that center, that funded it, that maintained it. And I really take great exception to the fact that that 1,000 kilos came in funded by U.S. taxpayer money, and it hit the streets of the United States. I find that particularly appalling when you look at all the damaged lives that 1,000 kilos represents.
And what happened to the tens of millions that were paid for the CIA's cocaine? Well, General Guillen insists he didn't get any of it. But Judge Bonner says one thing is certain. The Colombian cartel did. They got their money once the dope made it to our streets. Meanwhile, both the House and Senate Intelligence Oversight Committees continue to ask questions about what they call, quote, the very serious charges surrounding the CIA's cocaine.
That's crazy. So I put something I found online in the chat. We're going to read the last paragraph, but I encourage you to read the whole thing. So this is from a website. This came out last September. So this part right here. But while the drug exports from Venezuela orchestrated by the CIA and DEA are serious enough to undermine accusations against Venezuela as a supposed narco state, another fact reveals other spheres of the business. Up until 2005, when the DEA operated in Venezuela, there were 215 hectares under cultivation with various drugs. This is no coincidence. From that year to the present, the UN has designated Venezuela as a territory free of illicit crops, highlighting the Bolivarian, government's all-out fight against drug trafficking since the DEA left the country. This contrasts sharply with Colombia, where the DEA operated freely since 1999, at least until its recent decertification by the Trump administration, and which has continued to increase its drug production and exports to the United States. This is no coincidence either. So your government won't go after Colombia, they'll go after Venezuela. All right. All right. Nigga, rack them weights. He trying to play for the Texans. That's what it is. But remember when I told y'all earlier to keep a pin in the fact that MAGA, or they were going to be inconsistent with this Maduro capture. They all running around here talking about how great this is. Well, unfortunately, their words have come back to bite them in the ass. Oh, you don't believe me? I figured you didn't. This is just a daily reminder for y'all that MAGA is full of liberals. Liberals. They are fair weather. We know this. We can easily prove this. We've done it before, but going forward, if DeSantis becomes our president, you're going to see how quick they're going to turn and be DeSantis fans. You watch what I tell you.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
All right. So this is from the Independent, way over the UK. So they were talking about how MAGA influencers are shredded for change of heart over U.S. military intervention in Venezuela. Remember, again, you could go look this up. They were pissed off that Biden wanted to go do something with Maduro and what he said, saying that he was a terrorist and a dictator. And they said that this is not America first. We shouldn't care about what's going on down there. We have to worry about home. But when Trump goes after him, then it's cool. Got it. So there's JD. So here we go. Other MAGA voices were confronted with precisely those criticisms. Cat shit, what we call him here, who had posted Venezuela is now more free than New York City, was reminded that he had previously challenged his followers. Name one U.S.-inspired regime change that hasn't ended in absolute disaster. Venezuela is going to end up in disaster because they're about to bring refugees here. So that's going to fly in the face of your America First policy that you do not need people here. Remember, y'all eviscerated Vivek and Elon and the rest of them that said that H-1B people need to be here. But then y'all praised Trump for bringing South African refugees here. He's about to bring Venezuelan refugees here. They already said that they're going to make it possible for them to come. So I won't pause. So I want y'all to have the same energy with the South Africans that you had with the Venezuelans. I don't want to hear no crap when they start coming here by the thousands. I don't want to hear it. Because guess what? For a lot of y'all over there on that side, that's going to be replacing white people. Because remember, they also got pissed off that how many Hispanics identify as white, especially when they do crime. And what we showed the other day is Venezuela has one of the highest murder rates in the world. So you're going to bring a whole bunch of refugees, the crime rate for the skyrocket. There go your crime bill. This is not a game, folks. Libya would be another one, cat shit. But I know you're going to say that was Obama. Okay. Iraq, that was Bush and the Republicans and the Democrats. Bad. Haiti. Bad. Interesting. Venezuela is better off, podcaster Tim Pool said, only for another user to respond. Remember when he pretended to be anti-war? They were always neocons. The whole thing was a fraud. Because he knew y'all were going to give him more money, spouting that I'm for whatever Trump says. And this is why those audiences over there, I eviscerate when I do, because they're hypocrites. You watch, especially with Tim Pool, you watched him change and y'all stayed there. Talking about, oh, he finally saw the light. No, he knew you guys were stupid enough to give him money and prestige for saying this. If he was really this based, he would have been based on the left and people would have been platforming him regardless. He was working at fucking Fusion Media. He worked at Vice and nobody cared. Commentator Gunther Eagleman That piece of crap reposted Trump's True Social post about the Maduro operation with the comment, "This is huge. I am completely amazed at the might of our military." Wow. Because he's a grifter. A whole host of users noted that he had previously reacted to the president announcing it was time for world peace with the words, "No new wars." No new wars, but you praise this asshole for dropping bombs in another country. Not exactly the Rothschilds. They don't need the Rothschilds. See, what you got to understand is the corporations are running this operation. It's not the government. Trump is not running this. Corporations and the Gulf states are running this. Here's the plan. They're going to go down there, and those American companies are going to say they can't refine this oil. They're going to go talk to the Saudis. You're going to see a more unprecedented Saudi-U.S. oil deal. The Saudis are going to go down there. They're also going to say that the oil is no good, but they'll be able to put their resources towards it. Me personally, I think they're going to do it, operate at a loss, and then backstab America and give it to the global South. That's what I think is going to happen. And Trump is going to look like an idiot to the layman, but since I told y'all what the plan is, you're going to be like, damn, he was in on it. Don't be surprised when the Saudis and the Qataris get access to that Affinity Partners isn't going to be a sponsor. Don't be surprised. I mean, they're part of it, but we also got to understand there's other corporations involved. Y'all's Walmart is going to be involved. No, they're not going to be outwardly named. All these big corporations out here, all your venture capitalist firms, they're all in on this. These are the companies that you don't expect to see always in the limelight. That's what I mean when I say that it's corporations running this. But let's continue. I can think of better uses of my tax dollars than blackbagging the head of a foreign narco-trafficking organization that enriches itself by addicting and poisoning my fellow Americans, wrote lawyer Will Chamberlain. This you ask Wu-Tang is for the children, reminding Chamberlain of a previous post that declared the Republican Party is no longer the party of regime change and endless wars. If you want to be its standard bearer, that is a non-negotiable position. Okay. The apparent contradiction between the administration's actions and its past rhetoric was also raised by Dana Bash on CNN State of the Union on Sunday, when she asked Ohio Representative Jim Jordan how Trump's Venezuela operation and subsequent threats towards Cuba and Colombia could be rationalized with a prior emphasis on domestic priorities. The priority is to destabilize Latin America and the Caribbean. If they can't get the Panama Canal, they might as well get access to Latin America and the Caribbean. That's why it's no wonder that Sheinbaum is being one of the loud, vocal oppositions to what they did in Venezuela. This is a strategic way to end the USMCA and have us depend on Asia for everything. If you think Trump and his cronies are going to bring us oil, when OPEC already told you we have an oversupply, you're crazy. I want MAGA to understand this. It doesn't matter how low the price of gas goes. See, you assholes are not outside every day. I'm just going to keep repeating this so you understand what I'm saying. You guys are not outside every day. Gas, y'all claim is low, correct? Why are the gas stations not full? When gas under Trump was $1.99 in some places, gas stations were not full. People are not traveling on planes. People are not going on cruises. People are not even renting boats. They're not renting yachts. People are not, the trucking industry is being vice grip right now. You have less truckers out here right now. They're trying to drop diesel prices to get these truckers in there so they can use up the supply. People are not traveling like they used to because everything's expensive. They even tried to drop. We did that live where I showed you the price of traveling transnational. $100. People weren't going on it. We did the cruise prices twice. People are not going on these cruises. He could drop gas to $1. Y'all would sit out there and celebrate, and the gas stations then still wouldn't be full. So I don't know why y'all keep talking about, oh, he's going to bring low gas prices. Is that going to stop these corporations like your heating companies from raising rates? I didn't think so. Is it going to stop your electric companies from raising your rates? I didn't think so. Interesting. You would think with all that oil, they should be saying, you know what, pretty soon we're going to have a whole bunch of cars on the road that are going to be so cheap that we can start dropping the prices and getting people in new cars, and then we could restock our used car inventory. You think they would have said that? Nope. And y'all remember a year ago, I told y'all that them companies, we did that in that March live. I showed you that them US companies said it's not worth doing it. Now they're trying to pivot back because of Trump, but because they know they're going to get subsidies out of it. But they're going to go down there and take the money that's going to come out of you and me, and then go down there and tell you can't do it. And then they're just going to funnel it again back to the Arabs. So they're going to be making all the money, even though they're also pivoting towards green energy. And his supporters still don't see this. They're trying to be oligarchs by association. And you know what happens with oligarchs. Maybe I should do a live and show y'all from a perspective of somebody that buys product for a restaurant. Show you how much the prices done went up. It would shock you. I might do that. Back to Jim Jordan. I trust the president to make decisions that are in the best interest of Americans of our country. The Republican congressman answered. This president gets results. Jordan insisted that Trump's record since returning to power a year ago certainly making America great again. He continued, getting a bad guy brought to justice who's had a 5-year arrest warrant. This is certainly consistent with that theme and that message as well. So I think the American people appreciate that. They really don't fucking get it. If he was a drug trafficker, then why did you change the rhetoric? Okay. But your vice president, who they want to be the next president, was a whole liberal against Trump. So you want people that bend the knee. I got it. I got it. Okay. All right. Venezuelan oil. That many experts have already said you're not going to get immediate. They still have to go down there, survey again to make sure that the oil's there, then extract it. which is not going to be great. The reason why it's so dirty is there's so much carbon in it. How is that going to be for consumption for cars, even when you refine it? How do you know that it's still going to be suitable for cars? How do you know it's going to be suitable for home use? How is it going to be suitable to create things like steel and plastic? So we're going to have, so basically what I'm hearing is you're going to use Venezuelan oil to try to bring down prices, yet we're going to probably have to install, after you took it down, carbon emission standards again. Then you try to praise the fact that a puppet government that you're controlling says that we're going to buy, and they're going to buy stuff from us. Which, unless you're going to tell me they're not going to pay no tariff on, makes no sense. Because I want y'all to understand, he didn't say he was dropping the tariffs on them. So, by the way, since we're going to be importing this oil, right? Are we going to tariff ourselves? Since he said they're going to buy stuff from us, right? And presumably we're going to send stuff back. They're going to send stuff back. Are you going to tariff them? U.S. to punish India, China with 500% tariffs because they're taking Russian oil. But I thought y'all told me Russian oil when it's nothing to sneeze at. Oil prices have been dropping since before he took office. And this move was just to bump it back up. Oh, God. But nah, they didn't want to see the play. No, it makes sense. I just explained it. It makes sense. They're going to have the Arabs do it. He gave them $1 trillion and he's going to make them more money. Then they all talking about, oh, we can get away from OPEC. You dickheads. You dickheads. What does OPEC trade in the petrodollar? What is the rest of the world getting away from the petrodollar? So how does this help us? Oh, you don't believe me, MAGA? I figured you didn't, because y'all don't believe nothing. Oh, well, unfortunately for you, the information's out there. You're just too lazy to go look for it. There you go. OPEC keeps production steady as expected. Everybody knew this, except y'all, because you don't listen. I told y'all last year. I told them last year. Y'all were here when I said it. And I showed it. OPEC said, our supply is good. We're asking countries to ramp up production. There's an but people are like, do you have an oversupply? We don't care. And the trade and the jobs report is supposed to drop this week. Lord have mercy, it's probably going to be bad. Maybe that's why he's doing all this. He probably knows that job report is going to be bad. And he's probably going to say, you know what? Now that we got the Venezuelan oil and we're about to refine it and do all this, we're going to create hella jobs. Okay. All right, dude. Oil supply gains constrained amid price adjustments. Keep production steady until the end of March. Kazakhstan and Iraq were producing too much in November, while Russia in particular is falling short. Overall, however, the deviation was limited to 140,000 barrels per day, according to IEA figures. The current lack of scope for production increases is confirmed by Saudi Arabia's official selling prices, which have been reduced again for February. They have been lowered for the third month in a row, and the premium for Arab light crude compared to the Oman-Dubai benchmark is now only 30 US cents in Asia, down from 60 cents in January. That is the lowest it's been in 5 years. They're telling you this. They could operate at a loss and still make money. Gulf states were sitting there producing. They were producing. They don't know how supply and demand works, but they want to talk about the economy. Thank you, Black Spider. I thought I was a good economics student in high school and college. It's not that difficult. If the supply is higher than the demand, the price is going to be low. When demand is high and supply is low, the price jumps up. This is basic. When supply and demand are the same, they can set whatever price they want. Why do you think he wants a war in Venezuela? Why do you think he wants conflict in Latin America? Because then he could dictate all the prices. The OCGFC, the corporations can dictate whatever price they want. The car companies can make more money because now that you have conflict going on down there, price of cars, they get to justify raising their prices because they have to transport it in an active war zone. And they still don't get it. You gonna praise this. You praising them taking oil from another country. You're praising this. But y'all were the same ones 20 years ago pissed off that Bush and them were doing the same thing in Iraq and Afghanistan. Taking the oil. We all saw the Facebook posts. We all saw the Black Planet posts. We saw all the MySpace posts. They're just out there just taking the oil. That's all this war was, oil. Now all of a sudden you're cool with it. The rest of the world is laughing at us. Laughing. No, it's not sick. This is colonizer behavior. They said Trump was going to beat out OPEC. What? No, he wants a seat. See? Experts say U.S. President Donald Trump's push for the OPEC plus alliance of oil exporting countries to bring down the cost of oil conflicts with the Republican leaders' own plans to make America energy dominant. He wants to be on the seat. He gets that seat by proxy through Venezuela. He can manipulate the price through OPEC. And when he gets called out on it, he said, that's not us, that's Venezuela. But he's going to make buku money off of it. It's a game. Now watch. When he does pull this off, MAGA's going to be like, great, we're on OPEC now. Now we get to run the world. I'm like, what are y'all saying right now? So it's not about making America great. It's about trying to control the world. You might as well have said that. So it's not America first. All right. But, you know, it's okay. I think we got the gist of it. No, Trump is controlled. He's controlled by corporations. He's not working for the American people. We've said this many times. This is not the Trump you got the first time. This is, I need to enrich myself and my family, Trump. He got what he needed to get out of the first one. He got his loyalists. Now he's like, nah, I got to get my money. Let's see how much Infinity Partners is worth now. Shit. Shit.
Get to work!
Damn. There you go. 5.4 billion in assets. Son of a bitch. Damn, they mutilate Gentiles. Oh, that sucks. So who's making them Bibles we find in the hotels then? Shout out to them. 5.4 billion. Significant funding from the Saudis. Son of a bitch. You gotta love this game. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's see if Halliburton is still around, and then I'm going to sleep. Halliburton came outside, started talking again. U.S. politician profits from Venezuela crisis after super suspicious oil stock trade. Who did this? Gil Cisneros, I guess. Made timely bet on oil services giant Halliburton, a move that coincided with escalating U.S. involvement in Venezuela and sharp rally in energy stocks. He bought it on my birthday. Damn, he spent $15,000. Halliburton shares were trading in the mid $20 range. Damn, I should have did that. Son of a bitch. I would have made some money. Motherfucker. Damn. If I'd have saw, you know why I didn't do Halliburton? I thought that one of them stocks was like over $100. I should have just checked. That was on me. Damn it. I'm gonna make some money. There's a joke there, but I'm gonna leave it alone because it's late. But it's Wednesday. We go out and hum something today. I'm going to leave it alone. But yeah, there you go. Biden was planning to go get Maduro. They bitched about it, but now Trump went to go get it, and they're happy. It's okay. All right, y'all. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. I know it was a late live, and I apologize again, but I had to go get this nap. Naps are underrated. So we will see you tomorrow because we got some people we gotta go get. Got a lot of them out here still talking. So that's gonna be a social commentary for tomorrow. So y'all take care, stay safe, enjoy the last 20 minutes of this Wednesday, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.
Oh, here it goes!
Time's up.
Get your ass up! We gotta get out of here now!
But did we have a good time here? Hello?
Gotta get your groove on!
they got in.
And that's it.